Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about verbs. What's a verb? By definition, we know that a verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence and forming the main part of predicate of a sentence. And I'm gonna repeat it. A verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence and forming the main part of predicate of a sentence. Meaning, it's a word that indicates a physical action, a mental action, or a state of being. So, to understand the meaning of verbs, we have to understand those three words, which is action, state, occurrence. So it's a word used to describe an action. The action that the word can describe can be a physical action, like walk. I walk, okay? It's like something that's happening right now. An action, a physical action. A state of being. I exist. I exist. That's a state of being because it's in the moment. Or occurrence still can be an action or a state of being and can also be a mental action because something that's occurring, something that's happening right now. So we use a word called verb to describe it. Okay? And I say it can be a mental action. Think like I think. I'm thinking in the moment. And the third, these words, this action, state, or occurrence, informing the main part of predicate of a sentence. So, how do they form the main part of predicate of a sentence? So we have the word predicate. So we know predicate of a sentence, meaning a part of a sentence that tells you or that explains what the subject is doing. Okay? So I repeat, predicate of a sentence means it's a part, okay? Part of the sentence that tell you or explain what the subject is doing. Okay. So let's have an example, right? If we have, let's take a physical action. How a physical action can tell you what the subject is doing. Let's say we have I as the subject. Okay? And now we just have the subject. Now we're gonna make a sentence. I walk in the desert. Now, we don't know what's explained what the subject is doing. I walk in the desert and we have I as the subject. So now let's try to do I, okay? I in the desert. If we say I am the desert, the sentence doesn't make no sense. It simply don't make no sense to say I am the desert unless you use something that tells you what the subject is doing. You can say, for example, I am in the desert. I sleep in the desert. Or I walk in the desert. So now, walk him and sleep totally change the sentence. Now the sentence makes sense. You can describe what you was doing. So I can say that, oh, I was walking in the desert. If I need to explain, what was you doing in the desert? I was walking. Where do you sleep? I sleep in the desert. Where are you? I am in the desert. So now it's explaining that one of these actions or state of being is part of the sentence that tell you or explain what the subject is doing. In other terms, we can say we can give it our own definition. We can say a verb it's a word that can, or you can say is, used to make sense. You can say make sense, or you can say explain. To make sense of a sentence, okay? A sentence of. So a verb is a word that can or that is used to make sense of a sentence or to explain a sentence. Simple like that. In the American language, there are 50 verbs that are most important. I repeat, in the American language, there are 50 verbs that are most important. And that's gonna be for another video. Thank you. Goodbye.